The Lonesome Guild might be the most confusingly reviewed cozy game of 2025. One review calls it childish and forgettable. Another says it's a quiet masterpiece about loneliness and trauma. So which is it? Harmless comfort food or a sneaky emotional gut punch? You play as Ghost, an amnesiac spirit in the kingdom of Iter, where a red mist is spreading across the land. It doesn't just kill people, it makes them feel isolated, empty, and eventually twisted. Ghost teams up with Da Vinci, a hyperactive rabbit inventor, then slowly builds a party of weirdos who form the Lonesome Guild and try to push the mist back. It's out on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS from Tiny Bull Studios and Don't Nod, and it's roughly a 10-12 hour run. Here's the first big split. DualShocker sees a great premise that gets smothered by cloying, repetitive dialogue about friendship fixing everything, with campfire scenes that feel like they're aimed at kids and never really dig into the darkness the setup promises. Checkpoint sees almost the exact opposite. A deceptively cute adventure that slowly turns into something raw and affecting, more in line with the way Pokémon Mystery Dungeon or a really good animated movie blindsides you. The RGG Connected lands in the middle. Strong themes, relevant ideas about isolation, but wordy writing and some vagueness that makes parts of the story feel less sharp than they could be. Put together, the picture looks like this. The Lonesome Guild is very sincere. It's not interested in edgy cynicism. It puts feelings right on the surface. If you roll your eyes when characters say out loud that they're lonely or that they need each other, this is going to grate fast. If you're okay with earnest, slightly theatrical dialogue and you like character-driven stories, there's a good chance this lands as intended. Moment to moment, the game is an action RPG with a top-down camera and a loop of exploration, combat, and some light puzzling. Ghost doesn't fight directly. Instead, they possess one party member at a time in real-time battles, dodging telegraphed attacks, and using basic combos plus a couple of character-specific skills. Some party members lean into healing, some into big damage, some into summons. Swapping mid-fight gives a short damage buff, nudging you to use the whole squad. Most reviewers agree the boss fights are the highlight, readable patterns, cool mechanics, and just enough pressure to make mistakes hurt. The regular encounters are where opinions fall apart again. DualShockers calls the game one of the easiest they've ever played, never dying once on normal difficulty, and feeling there was no reason to experiment with builds or party comps. Checkpoint likes the basic feel of combat, but admits that later on, standard fights start to feel like filler between story beats and bosses. RG Connected actually found the game pretty tough in places, thanks to slightly sluggish dodge rolls, spaced out rest points, and no save anywhere before big fights. There's also a relationship system layered on top of all this. At campfires, you talk to your party members, pick dialogue options, and earn relationship points that unlock more of their skill trees. Checkpoint loves how this ties getting to know the cast directly into combat power, and says the optional chats are some of the best writing in the game. RG Connected likes the idea, but notes that rest points are far enough apart that progression can feel slow. DualShockers basically bounces off it, arguing that you get points just by playing anyway, and the campfire talks aren't strong enough to make the system feel meaningful. Quick light spoiler in 3, 2, 1. The game leans hard on those camp scenes to unpack backstories and Ghost's lost identity. If you skip them or rush through, you're missing the actual heart of the game and you're left with a simple ARPG. If that sounds miserable, this probably isn't your game. If sit by the fire, talk it out, then unlock new skills sounds cozy, you're the target. Spoiler over. Puzzles mostly support that loop. Ghost can't touch most physical objects, so you're coordinating party members, stepping on plates, flipping switches, and occasionally using a ghostly light to reveal hidden paths. Reviews describe them as generally solid, if occasionally basic, or a little vague, more palate cleanser than main course. On presentation, everybody's friends again. The Lonesome Guild looks great. The world shifts from autumn forests to glittering deserts to snowy streets, and the 3D environments feel like pages in an illustrated storybook. The 2D art is the real star. Expressive character portraits, charming menus, and painterly cutscenes that make the cast feel alive even without voice acting. Dual shockers ran into stuttering in towns and large areas. Ouch Connected calls out sluggish combat animations and long reloads between attempts. No one is saying it's a disaster, but in a year loaded with slick indies, a bit rough around the edges can absolutely push a game down the queue. So where does that leave the Lonesome Guild in 2025's stacked indie lineup? Veteran Games take. This is not the next systems heavy obsession, and it's not an automatic recommendation just because the theme is important. But if you're in the mood for a one and done, feelings first adventure about loneliness, found family, and trying to stay connected when everything pushes you apart, it might be exactly the right game at the right time. If this kind of no BS deep dive that actually weighs clashing reviews is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. And if you've ever finished a cozy game while ugly crying into your keyboard, toss a like so the algorithm knows you're one of us. Now you tell me, for a game like the Lonesome Guild, is a simple low-pressure combat system fine if the story hits hard? Or does a $25 price tag demand mechanics deep enough to keep you coming back after the credits roll?